Hello, I want to play a game.
Okay, that's too warm underneath that shit. Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back, Jamie here. And today, if you can't tell already, I'm breaking down the horror franchise from my worst to best. Now this is a franchise that I love a lot. A lot of people class it as torture porn, but I think it's got the most interesting story development in most horrors. You know, most horrors you can guess how they're going to go. Each Saw film ends with a twist. You never know what's going to happen, which is amazing. So yeah, I'm going to break them down. Here we go. Starting off the list at number 8, we've got Saw 3D, the final chapter. Now obviously I'm a big Saw fan, and at this point this was the last supposed film inside the franchise. I had massive hopes for it, and it completely let me down. Started off strong. Obviously there's going to be spoilers inside this discussion. Started strong with the return of Dr. Gordon from the original film, flashing all the way back to Saw 1, how he escaped the bathroom. And then from there it just, each time I rewatched the full series, I watched the beginning 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes. I skip everything else because the protagonist is shit, the story shit. John's in it for one flashback. Apparently this film was supposed to be split in two. I'm glad it wasn't. Even if it was, I don't think it would have helped it. I really don't know what they were thinking with this film. But like I said, the last 10 minutes are good as well, because you've got Hoffman basically turning into a slasher villain. He goes full Michael Myers. I don't remember how many people he kills inside the prison, but he just starts slashing, using his knife and everything that moves. Which, you know, at this point it wasn't really a slasher, but it was fun to see Hoffman go on that rampage. And then of course at the end you got Dr. Gordon locking him up, revealing that he's been helping John all along with the surgical stuff inside the traps, which a lot of us fans have been calling for years. They said God will be involved, but here we are, he's involved. Let's just accept it. So yeah, Saw 3D, number 8, the worst of the franchise. Moving on to number 7, I've got Saw 5, which continues on from Saw 4, but I feel like it's such a slow story. It's not really telling much. It's mostly focusing on Hoffman, the new apprentice, you know, since the ending of Saw 4. It's showing his backstory with John and stuff like that, which I enjoy. I enjoy seeing them setting up old traps with Amanda and stuff like that. And it explains more how John was able to, you know stuff because he has a detective on the inside. But the main traps with the 5 victims, you have to, they're being selfish, but John implores them to be, against what the gut's telling him. The twist at the end is they should have worked together. And, it's not that good. And Strom, he's looking for Hoffman. It's basically, it's just not good. I don't know what they were thinking. There's some good elements like the flashbacks, like I said, but overall, Saw 5, nah. Moving on to number 6, I've got Jigsaw, the latest film inside the franchise. Now, obviously, at first when this was announced, I was really hyped. I thought, finally, they're continuing the story. And then it comes out, it's a soft reboot, which they didn't say they've retconned everything, but the way it's set up, it takes place 10 years after John dies, and John dies in Saw 3. There's no mention of Hoffman. I don't think there's any mention of Amanda. So they basically retconned the whole entire series apart from number 1. And another thing, the main twist of this film is that, there's a game, but is it taking place now or in the past? There's 2 games. And the one inside the past, they use all this high-tech equipment. Billy the puppet's got glowing red eyes. There's all these cameras and shit, and you're like, when you realise it's inside the past, you're like, well, this don't make any sense. This is clearly a plot hole, because if John had all this equipment to begin with, why didn't he use it? And also, you've got good characters as well, like Eleanor, the detective. She's a good character, but she's also obsessed with Jigsaw, and we find out later on inside the lair that she's got all these props or traps from previous films, which I guess they are basically saying they took place. They've even, I came up with a theory. Hopefully they continue this in Jigsaw 2 if they make that. But Eleanor found Hoffman inside the bathroom and they've helped him escape, or she's keeping him alive. I mean, I understand why they rebooted the series, because it's 7 films, you want everyone to be able to attend the cinema to see it. But I just don't see why you would reboot it. But yeah, Jigsaw, number 6 on the list. Number 5, I've got the original Saw. Now let me explain why. Obviously, most people say this is the best one, which it is a good film in its own right, but it's not what I associate Saw with. It's more of a crime thriller. You know, it's kind of slow. You get John in it, yeah, but he's most of the time, you know, the big twist at the end, he's laying on the floor the whole time in the bathroom. He gets up. They're chasing him around a bit, but you don't really get a sense of who John really is or Jigsaw. Which it's a good film, but it's set up the series. You know, it's the building point. You know, you got the bathroom and everything. Dr. Gordon, obviously, who comes back at the end, but mm, it just doesn't do it for me. It's not what I like from Saw. Moving on to number four, I've got Saw 4 and number 4. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like Saw 4. I love the twist that, you know, it is a bit convoluted when you first watch it. You're trying to understand what the fuck's going on, but then with repeated viewings, you understand, this is taking place the exact same time as Saw 3. And you've got just building on characters more. You know, you've got Detective Rigg, who's a good, strong protagonist. And obviously, Hoffman at the end is revealed to be the new Jigsaw. We don't get his backstory until Saw 5, like I explain later. But I feel like the traps in this film are really good. And also, well, even though we don't do much, Eric Matthews is in it as well. And Eric is a good character. But yeah, Saw 4, it does all have a lot of strengths. Especially with John's backstory, of course, being the main point. You get to find out what caused him, apart from the cancer, to, you know, actually become Jigsaw. You learn about his wife, his financial investments with buildings and stuff like that, and how he was an engineer. You get to see him building Billy the puppet for the first time. I really enjoy the backstory of Saw 4. I think that's why I like it so much. Moving on to number 3. Once again, I got Saw 3 as number 3. Now, Saw 3 is an amazing film. I feel like it's got probably the best character development. You know, the relationship between John and Amanda, and the way they've been on the run these past few months. John's obviously getting sicker, so she's taking care of him, but she's also got her own problems. You got Jeff as the protagonist.
My name is Jeff.
Which some people don't like Jeff. They think he's slow, but I mean, come on, he's lost his son. He's not just gonna, you know, just give up his possessions straight away. You know, it's a long process. The traps are amazing as well, and it's the flashbacks as well of seeing like John and Amanda, like, you know, what's happened since Saw 2, even before then. It's just an interesting dynamic which I really enjoy. And of course, that was supposed to be the end of the franchise, Saw 3, because they killed off John and Amanda inside the film. But money talks, so obviously they brought it back. But I am glad they brought it back. But still, Saw 3, number 3 on the list. Moving on to number 2, I've got Saw 2 as my number 2 pick. As you can tell, 4, 3 and 2, they line up with how they actually came out. But still, Saw 2 is amazing. You've got Eric as the protagonist, who, you know, is an amazing actor. It is a good film. The dynamic, as I keep saying this, but with John and Eric inside this film, the way John keeps taunting him, and he's like, you know, he knows he's got his son. Eric wants Daniel, his son, back, but he doesn't realise the entire time he's inside the room with him, inside the safe. And also, this is the first time they did the time twist sort of thing, where they're watching the recordings, thinking the trap's going on, but really it happened a few hours before. It's revealed Amanda is, you know, John's accomplice. She's not the first one though, but she is inside this timeline that we see. But yeah, Saw 2, I love the trap house environment, the way each room's set up to be a different trap, and the needle pit. Oh god, I absolutely fucking hate needles. Needles and spiders I hate, so that massive pit with the needles always makes me cringe. But yeah, Saw 2, it's an amazing film, much better than the original. That's why it's number 2. Which gets us to number 1 inside the list, Saw 6. Which, for me, when it first came out, I didn't have. I mean, obviously it came out after Saw 5, and after Saw 5 I was like, you know, I'm sort of done with this series maybe. But Saw 6, as you can tell in the background, I've got a poster of Saw 6. It is my favourite because it's amazing. It's just so much better quality than what we've been getting, you know, at that point, and even afterwards. And it's just, you know, you got John, Hoffman, and Amanda in flashbacks with Jill, and you get the sense of the full picture. You know, you've got Hoffman basically losing control. Even William, the protagonist, when it came out, it was dealing with the healthcare, like, which was a big issue, and, you know, scams, insurance, and stuff like that. And, you know, it made an impact when it came out, but it also still holds up. And the twist at the end, or twists, I should say, the way they bring it back and give Amanda more backstory, and, you know, you feel more sympathy towards Amanda after Saw 6. And also you've got the reverse bear trap making an appearance again. We don't get to see what happens because Hoffman escapes until Saw 3D, but still, it's still a good film. Traps are amazing, character development's amazing, soundtrack's amazing, which I haven't mentioned yet. Hello Zep, that music by Charlie Clouser is just absolutely phenomenal. As soon as you hear it, you just get goosebumps. You're like, holy shit, alright, go on, blow my mind with your twist. But yeah, Saw 6, number 1 on the list. I absolutely love it. Comments, let me know what other series you'd like me to see in the future. Check out me Chucky and Halloween franchise reviews down there. Peace out, guys.